The score. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. And a man's ambition should be to become the best version of himself. But that's a journey. So on your way up, and I say up because in order to become the best version of yourself, you got to tap into your higher self. But that's a journey, right? So on your way up, keep score of every speed bump, keep score of every hater, and keep score of all the self-doubt. Keep score. But with that, keep score of how many times you folded or stood on your square. To fold is to back down on what you know is right and just. To give up when times get rough, that's folding. To back down from disrespect just to keep the peace. I'm not saying killing. I'm saying when you set boundaries and them boundaries get crossed and you don't stand up to straighten it out, that's a fold. Hey, and if it comes to shooting a fair one, then shoot a fair one. You know what I'm saying? And for you young bulls out there, to shoot a fair one is to fight. Fisticuffs, to go toe to toe. Right? To stand on your square, to do that, to stand on your square is to, regardless of who's in the room, I am who I am. I am who I am, regardless who's there. Now that don't mean to be the worst version of yourself. No. A lot of folk, it's just who I am. No, it ain't. No, it's not. There's a better version of you. It's everything opposite of folding. When boundaries are crossed, stand on your square. Like a man. Like men! And that goes for whatever type of relationship. And sure, it does come down to picking and choosing your battles. It does. Because he who relies solely on warlike measures will be exterminated. And he who relies solely on peaceful measures shall perish. Shout out to Sun Tzu, The Art of War. But yeah, keep score. Keep score of your gratitude. I've been guilty of this a few times, maybe more. But we get certain expectations going on in our heads, right? And when those expectations aren't met, we feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Now the disappointment got you throwing the baby out with the bathwater, causing us to not be as grateful for people and or certain situations and dynamics. Expectation is a stress maker. You know what I'm saying? Unless, of course, you've made an agreement to something and you didn't make good on your word. Okay, in that case, I get it. A person had expectations because you gave your word that you'd either be or do something, and you didn't make good on your word. You expect. You know what I'm saying? Keep score of keeping your word to others and yourself. Some of us have what is referred to as imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome just simply describes someone who feels that they aren't as capable as others and feels that they'll be exposed as a fraud. That's heavy, right? In layman's terms, it's like a serious form of self-doubt. You know what I'm saying? We all got attributes to do whatever it is we feel passionate about, right? But we're so worried about what other people think. We start seeing ourselves through the lens of other people. And then we start picking ourselves apart, thinking that we don't measure up. Keep score of that. So, and when you keep score, you'll realize that a lot of times we see ourselves as imposters. Like we don't belong here. We ain't as good as them. When we're probably better. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta work harder. I gotta measure up. I gotta be perfect. I'm not good. When you are enough. We are not imposters. You don't need outside validation. A lot of us suffer from that. We think we're not as good as our peers. You know what I'm saying? Listen, a lot of us are grown as right? And some of us think that we're disappointing our parents. You understand? A lot of us think that we don't measure up to what our fathers would approve of. That's a real thing. Come on. We are enough. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying we because we are connected. We are enough. You understand? I read not too long ago a really dope book. It's called Way of the Superior Man. And in that book, on chapter 3, it reads, live as if your father was dead. Walk with me here. A man must love his father and yet be free of his father's expectations and criticisms in order to be a free man. Imagine that your father has died, or remember when he did die. Are there any feelings of relief associated with his death? Now that he is dead, is any part of you happy that you need not live up to his expectations or suffer his criticisms? How have you lived your life differently if you had never tried to please your father? If you never tried to show your father that you were worthy? If you never felt burdened by your father's critical eye? For the next 3 days, the author tasks the reader, do at least one activity a day that you have avoided or suppressed because of the influence of your father. In this way, practice being free of his subtle expectations, which may now reside within your own self-judgment. Practice being free in this way, once each day for 3 days, even if you still feel fearful, limited, unworthy, or burdened by your father's expectations. And I gotta admit, that's an interesting way of detaching. But maybe we could use that. Use it. Instead of folding, you know what I'm saying, trying to be what others would approve of, how about we move as if they were dead? Now, I know that's interesting and kind of morbid, but try it. You know what I'm saying? And look, chew on that for as long as you need to. Keep score so that you can keep you. Peace. This is Hoodies.
Subscribe to this channel. Over and out.
Dear business owner, it doesn't matter which type of business you got. I hate to be the one to have to tell you this. You might already even know it, but they don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about what you're trying to build, and you know who they are. Always remember that the main thing is to keep the main thing, and that's to focus on the business. Help who you can help. Teach who you can teach. Just keep it moving, knowing that you did your best. Don't take none of it personal. Just do your thing. Focus on the business. And you'll thank me later. And I can hear you now. They don't respect my shit. What do you expect? They didn't put that work in. You did. So f*** them. And I'ma need you to act like you know. And focus. Word. Skill. Book your appointment today.